Well, thanks you guys. And, it's been a long week for us. Those of you on here that are guests won't understand, but those of you that are distributors know we lost a giant here this last week. I said at the funeral that I'd know Nathan's mind before he even says or thinks it. And it's true. We're kind of connected that way. And he would know what I know, and that is that 2023 is going to be a gigantic year for this company. And the reason it's going to be a gigantic year for this company is the industry is in an interesting precarious position right now. Many companies are in free fall because COVID has delivered a knockout punch to them. And that's put in place a situation where there's going to be a lot of people turned loose into the marketplace that are looking for a home. We're the most financially solvent network marketing company in the world today. And in fact, many of those companies have asked us to buy them. We're not buying them. Okay. We're moving into the marketplace and we're reestablishing our position at the top of the heap. And the reason we're going to do that is not just because I'm telling you that. I'm telling you that because the circumstance dictates it. When I started this business back in the 80s, the economy was the worst since the Great Depression. Our message was, hey, things have been tough, but you know what? Come with us and we can help change your life. And we went from 40 million to 500 million in a 20-month period of time. Well, I look at that today. And I see where we sit. And, along the way, we had, different junctures where there was opportunities to grow, and I'd take advantage of those. And I look at where we sit today, and I realize that we're in a spot today that the world has never seen. Coming off the heels of COVID, and now you got companies that are circling the drain in our industry. And then here we sit financially solvent, more so than anybody else. And we've invested $500 million in technological upgrade and AI capability that puts us in a position to not only pancake the industry, to put us in a position to go from where we at $2.5 billion to $5 billion in 2023 and $10 billion the next year. And that's going to happen. And the reason it's going to happen is because of the ground floor opportunity we have in front of us with the pre-marketing window. Okay, here's what's happening. We're not going to see the launch of the AI DNA deal for about 12 to 18 months as they're writing the algorithms. They're dealing with the legalities of, personal information and all those kinds of things. But you know what? They've got the firepower, the investment, and the connections to do it. And so our job here is to go out there and find people that want to move before the masses do. Now, I've had the opportunity to do that many times. When the Thailand market was rumored to open 9 months in advance, put the word out to 4 of my friends, 5 of us started talking to anything Thai. Long story short, over the course of 9 months, we could then go back to the country, open the market. My 5 people, me and 4 others, trained 5,000 people the very first day the market opened. By the end of the month, that 5,000 turned into 30,000 distributors. Now, you'd look at that and say, what just happened? Did we have an advantage? Was it magic? Did we cheat? Absolutely not. How does that extrapolate into $1 million of volume? It's because we laid a foundation in place before the masses moved. Because when you look out there at the population base, the Rogers adoption curve tells us a lot. And what it basically tells us is the innovators and early adopters, okay, these are the people that don't need to have all the I's dotted and T's crossed. They're visionaries. And those people will move on a market, a technology, or anything before the masses do. The masses, the other 85%, those guys are called the early majority, late majority, and laggards. That's the majority of the population. Okay, well, here we sit right now. I've got the experience. I look out there in the 80s, I was looking for that 15% of those people that wanted to move, those people that wanted to position before the huge wave came. Did the same when Thailand came, position before the masses moved. Well, I'm telling you right now, if you're an entrepreneur at all, okay, and I know I'm talking to a bunch of you on the phone right here. If you're an entrepreneur at all, the definition of an entrepreneur is you're going to spend your time where you're going to get the best return on that time investment. You know what? When you analyze everything we've got here, you come to the realization there's nothing you can do in the next 18 months that's going to set you up for active involvement, positioning in this ground floor window from what will be a multiple billion-dollar, increase in our business. And it's real simple. We keep this real simple, guys. Here's what's going on. I'm doing the business right now. I'm back in the trenches. I've got 50 people that I'm sponsoring. I've currently sponsored 10 of them into the business. And it's real simple. okay? We don't mince a lot of words. I tell them, hey, look, make a list of the contacts you've got. I want you to circulate one of the Zooms that we've put out there when we talk about opportunity. There's a few of them floating around. They're lives, they're recorded. You can take that, you can send it to them in a click. They look at it. If it has an interest as it sifts through the market, because we're not looking for everybody. There's some people that are like, well, I don't know, I'm kind of waiting for, that stimulus check, or, hey, I don't know, I kind of like the job where I'm barely, making ends meet right now. And I'm a little bit, scared to move forward. We're not looking for those guys. We're looking for people that want to change their life. And I'm telling you, they're out there in droves. And so as we put that message out, the video sifts through the market. It finds the people as it sends that signal into the market as they respond to it. As they respond to it, you get them on the phone with your upline leader. And the upline leader fills in the gaps. Okay, now, here's the interesting thing. I'm on a couple of those videos. So what do you think I do? Do I call guys up and start talking to them on the phone for 30 or 40 minutes? No. I say, I'm going to send you something, take a look at it. And after you take a look at it, if it resonates, I'll fill in the gaps. And why do I do that? I'm the guy in the video. Why don't I just talk to him? I send it out because at some point, as it hits a chord, they start asking the question, wow, this thing's going to go. How would I do this? How you're going to do it just like I did it with you. I sent you a video and it sifted and it found interest. And then we got on the phone and filled in the gaps. And the next step was real simple. Okay, you go online, you go to newskin.com, you enter in the information, your sponsored ID number, and you order your package. Okay, that package is on reorder. You put it on reorder because you're going to use that product up in 30 days. And the goal here, we call it U+2. Okay, and what does that simply mean? As I come on board, if Wen and Eugene recruit me into this business, I come on board, I buy my package, and then I go out and find 2 more people that we repeat that with, and I can file my letter of intent. And you heard Wen go through the compensation plan right now. That's where life begins. That's where you start position. Now, what are we doing here? We're positioning ourselves for an imminent opening of what will become a multi-billion-dollar explosion. But we're moving before everyone else does, all right? Now, why would we do that? Because the right people will respond right now. You see, the people that will respond right now are people that have connections, people that see vision, people that know more people like them. And before you know it, you cut the entrepreneurial heart out of the market, just like we did back in the 80s when we launched this company. Guys, I'm telling you right now, I've been at this business 35 years. I've never seen a moment in time like it is right now. The duplication's simple. Buy your package, U+2. Once you complete that, the letter of intent goes in, right? And then you start moving towards that SR or executive position. Once you get there, repeat. Keep repeating it. You do it 4 times, you're a Ruby. One thing we do know, once you hit Ruby in this company, the likelihood of you going to the position of Blue Diamond skyrockets. So, I tell people, become a Ruby duplicator. Become a Ruby duplicator. U+2 times 4. Do it over and over and over and over again. We're going to do this and keep doing this until they launch this thing in 12 to 18 months. And then guess what happens? As they launch this, okay, and they turn the whole thing on, and those assessments now become available. Now, all the people that are on board qualifying, I might add, on all the products that we will sell then in 12 to 18 months when it kicks in, right? The difference is we now have the assessment in the market. See, as that assessment goes into the market, let's fast forward 12 to 18 months from right now. Now, if I'm talking to Wen and Eugene right now, I'm not going to wait for 12 to 18 months to get them involved. We're going to get involved right now. And the goal is I want to help them get positioned in the compensation plan as far into the plan as they can be. I'd like to get them to Blue Diamond Team Lead if I can and help replicate that in their organization so they have this foundation in place. Because now what happens in 12 to 18 months, the business becomes more streamlined. See, now what happens in 12 to 18 months, let's say I'm in the business, I'm going to recruit Wen into the business. I simply just shoot her a call. I say, Wen, you won't believe what's happening with DNA and AI. It's taken over the world. and we're positioned to take advantage of it right now. I don't know if this is for you or not, but you need to look at it. Let me send you a video. Boom. I send it. Wen looks at it and says, oh my gosh, this looks good. We kind of fill in the gaps. Then I send her a link to the Vera app. She goes and clicks the link, goes in, follows the prompts, orders the assessment. Okay, then the AI kicks in, right? As the AI kicks in, then it starts to look at it because we're creating this digital avatar or digital twin of Wen. And what this is based off of her genetic code, because now we can kind of look at the snapshot with that assessment, that DNA assessment of everything she is genetic-wise. And this is the perfect Wen, we'll call it. Okay, now we're not all perfect, right? But this is the best Wen can be, physically, emotionally, cognitively, right? And here's the Wen today. And so AI kicks in and says, Wen, we see deficits here, 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 and here. And you know what we want to do? We recommend this product, that product to fill in these gaps, to create a scenario where we strengthen some of these things that might be weak, and we create the perfect avatar digital twin for Wen. Now think about that for just a minute. What have we just done? We've taken and AI has sold and upgraded and backfilled all that product to where all of a sudden Wen has a motivation to become the best version of herself. Now, here's the thing. Moving forward, just as a customer, why would Wen want to buy products anyplace else? We've got all of her information. We've got all of her data. We're creating her digital twin, and all that feedback information is there. And plus, she has me as a consultant to help move her along. Boy, I tell you what, once she starts to see a benefit and see the changes, you can't take those products out of her hands, and they're on reorder. And once the business starts growing and it starts to escalate, because millions of assessments will move into the market as AI backfills and sells the product, all of a sudden what you've got here, you and I just become people that make introduction. You and I are people that are out there just, talking to people in the marketplace and plugging them into the system. And then the AI kicks in and starts to backfill with product. Now, let me touch on something here for just a second, because I want to give you a big picture mindset. If you're on this phone and you're still listening to me right now, if you haven't hung up, all right, and gone back to watching TV, what's the big picture here? Well, as I speak to Wen, she sees the video, she goes to Vera app, she clicks in, she buys the assessment, she gets her information, the digital twin is created. AI starts backfilling with product sale and suggestion, and boom, she's got that going on. 5, 6, 10 years ago, e-commerce was a conversation. And you couldn't get your arms around it. You're like, I don't know how that's going to work. I mean, we see the technology in place with the internet, and everyone's got a phone in their hand and all this, and everything's going digital and all this. We see all that, but we can't get our arms around it. Then all of a sudden you wake up one day and Amazon owns the world. And you don't believe me? Go walk through a mall. What happened? And COVID just sealed the deal. Because as COVID kicked in and people were cocooning, they went to Amazon. And that thing is here to stay. And now Jeff Bezos is one of the richest guys in the world because he's positioned for a shift. It was dramatic. Well, you look at that. What if I told you this? As you lay this foundation, as we get our foot in the door with the DNA, okay, and we get that information and we gather that. And this is all commissionable, by the way, right? It's all product. And then we realize, you know what? We've got all these great products and we know the success rate and the benefits that are being received by our customer. But you know what we don't know? We're not capturing volume out there on other consumer goods that Wen might be buying. But we know she's buying them, all kinds of consumer goods. So you know what's happened here? And this is where I'm under non-disclosure. I can't divulge any specifics, but I can tell you this. They've made arrangements and agreements and partnerships with 6,000 consumer goods of brand name products. So now what happens, instead of Wen going to Amazon to buy her product, or if she still likes to run down to the brick and mortar, she can just click on through Vera and go into our portal, and she can find anything she wants in there, and she can order it just like she would on Amazon, except now it runs through our system. And you know what happens? I'm getting commissioned on all of it. And as time goes on, we start to see, AI starts to see that, hey, Wen buys this and this and this and this, and this is her liking here. And Eugene, he likes these kinds of things, and he tends to buy these at this certain time of year, this season. And all of a sudden, the AI gets more wisdom and capability and knowledge as it gets smarter and smarter and smarter, as all this plethora of information is fed into the system, and it becomes more intelligent and smarter. And it's now your partner, and it's upselling, and it's creating volume while you sleep. Let me ask you something. What have you and I done? I sent Wen a video right from the palm of my hand on my phone. She looked at it 20 minutes later. I'm on the phone. I fill in the gaps, or I have my upline help me do that. We send her another link to the Vera app. She clicks in, orders her assessment. It comes back a full snapshot of her DNA and her whole makeup, and the AI goes to work. Here's the bottom line. That's the simplest business I've ever heard. And you've never even heard that. You know why? Because it hasn't even existed until now. It's being created right now. It's happening right now with the $500 million investment. You didn't have to invest the $500 million. Nu Skin did. But if you're entrepreneurial at all, and I'm going to say this, and I mean it direct, because I got guys that are on this phone right now that I'm personally recruiting. You're an entrepreneur. You show me with what I just said to you, any place on this earth where you can get a return in the next 18 months, like active involvement in laying a foundation in front of what will be a monumental growth curve as this wave rips into the market and assessments flood it and AI starts backfilling it, and you end up with a mini Amazon business to boot. You want to change your life? This is it. This is it. You think people are out there looking for it? I tell you what, in the 80s, I saw people flock to us because the economy was bad. We're going into a global recession. The forecast is darkness for the next few years. Guys, I'm telling you what, this is our moment. This is our time. This is where we go in and we dominate the market. Because the story I just told you, nobody has what we have. No one's got the commitment we make. See, you don't want a startup company. They come and go. I've just described to you a ground floor pre-positioning window, but it's not a startup. There's a $500 million investment, which is what the gold standard of the industry, which is our company, has made. And it's on your behalf and position, and we're telling you about it before they even turn it on. It doesn't get any better than that. That's it, And so you look at that and you say, what am I doing here? Well, you're taking action. You're laying a foundation to change your life. And you just follow the execution of what we've talked about here. If you want more details, get together with whoever put you on here. They can walk you through it. But I'm telling you, almost it's so simple. You're like, is that it? Is that it? Well, yeah. All you got to do is now put the pedal to the metal and go. And if you're willing to do that, I want you to know my prediction, 2023, we're going to double the size of this company. We're going to go from $2.5 billion to $5 billion in the next 12 months. And when that happens, we'll go to $10 billion in 2024. And we're off to the races, because you know what that means? For about every wholesale dollar that comes into this company, almost half is paid back out to the compensation plan. So when I say 10 billion, you think 5 billion, because that's flowing into the marketplace. Guys, I'm here to tell you, we're not stopping there. Our CEO, Ryan Napirsky, he wants to see 10 times growth. So we're talking 20 billion over the course of the next couple of handfuls of years. I'm telling you what, there's no place to be out there than there is right now with active involvement, and we're doing it. I'm seeing people come into the mix I haven't seen ever come to our business. I'm seeing people that are looking at us that 3 or 4 years ago wouldn't even sneeze at us. But COVID and the downturn of the economy has taken opportunity away from people that are opportunists, and they're coming our way in droves. This is your wake-up call. Okay, this is the time to do it. You've seen how the comp plan works. I've talked about the replication model with the U+2, and we're looking for those 15%ers, the early adopters and the early adopters and innovators. Those are the people that are responding right now, and now's the time to position. You'll never see another time in this. And let me close with this. I believe this. You will never see another opportunity like this again. You know how I know that? Because you can't recreate the last 3 years the whole world has had to go through. You couldn't. If you were writing the worst horror story in the world, you could have not thought that thing up. But that's the world that we've had to live in, and we're still living in it. So you say, how are we going to navigate it? Well, how about a company that grew through COVID, that created a touchless business where we could sell stuff online and drop ship it to your home? We don't have to touch you. We don't have to be in the same room. We don't even have to breathe the same air. You can't beat us. You can't stop us. We are an unconquerable business. And I'm telling you what, as the world is opening up now and the economy is going down, we're tailor-made for this point in time. We're going to absolutely explode, and you're going to hear about this thing, or you're going to be part of it. You choose. I know what I'm doing more than ever. I lost one of my best friends this last week, and you know what? I'm more motivated than ever because it's made me even realize more than ever that I need to take advantage of the time I have right now, and I'm doing it. I hope you do too.